This movie's titled the way I feel some days. Oh, the new Shamhammer movie. Just gonna turn my car off for the engine. A new Shamhammer movie. I'm hit and miss of Shamhammer's films. I know it's M. Night Shyamalan. Let's be honest, he's the Shamhammer. I'm hit and miss with his films. There are some of his films I really like. I like Unbreakable. I really like Split. Glass I liked more than other people did, but it's a bit of a mess of a movie. And I'm actually, I'll be honest, I'm one of the few people who's really never watched The Sixth Sense. And I know the twist, obviously. But then you have The Happening, Lady in the Water, Signs, which isn't all. Signs in the Village are Avatar, Last Airbender. The Visit, I hear, is okay, but I haven't watched it. So you get Old, the new film he's done. And you know the premise from the movie, or the trailer. These group of people are on the beach, and they're aging. And you hear in another trailer, so this is no spoiler, it's like 1 year for every half hour. So, alright, that's the premise. So the question is, what's going on here? Why is this happening? What, in the trailer, what's in the cave? How are they going to get out, if they're going to get out? So this isn't a spoiler review, which makes this a bit of a tough review to do, because this is a movie where the spoiler is with a twist. But I'll say this, what you're going in there for, ultimately, what a twist. Really, I will say I was, because there's two what a twists. But the first one you can kind of see a mile away. It's like, okay, they make a point of not really showing you what happened in that scene, so clearly something actually happened. What you hope happened. But when it comes to the actual what's going on the beach twist, I'll be honest, I was let down by that twist. It's not. And then what the purpose of the beach is being used for. See, I was hoping for something like some eldritch horror, or hell, I'll even take Aliens or something like that. But what it's actually being used for is. First off, yeah, I will give it this. It's a almost practical use of something like this existed in the world. But it's just kind of like, really? This is the twist? And without spoiling what's in the cave is a freaking letdown. At least from my point of view, it's a freaking letdown. I was hoping for like some grisly monster or like some ancient being fused to the wall or something like that. What we get, no spoiler, to me anyway, is a letdown. Not to say the scene isn't decent. It's just a letdown. With that being said, did I hate the movie? No, this is definitely one of his better films. I mean, look, like I said, Unbreakable, Sixth Sense, even though I've never seen it, that's obviously credited as one of his best films. Split, The Visit, like those are probably like in his top 4 films. This is probably, you'd put it in the top 5. This is better than definitely all of his crap movies like The Happening, Lady in the Water, Avatar, Last Airbender, or Last Airbender, I should say. It's better than those movies. I would even say it's probably better than something, it's definitely better than something like Signs, to be fair. Signs isn't terrible, but it's better than something like Signs. It's probably akin to something like The Village, I'd say. I'm not throwing Glass in there too, because Glass was just a cluster F of all that. Split's far leagues and better than Glass, but it's still it's still within the higher ranking of the Shyamalan films, because they still do a lot with the concept. They do a decent amount with the concept presented. Granted, I'll say this, the way some of these people apparently are aging, my God, they age gracefully for a year every half hour, whereas others are clearly not aging as gracefully. Like, the kids clearly are, like, aging huge, like, by leaps and bounds. Whereas, the adults, you're seeing some age, certainly, but they seem to be detailing what's happening to the adults more with the ailments some of the adults have. There's a plot, like, later in the film, as one of them's getting older, their eyesight's starting to go. One woman loses hearing in her ear. There's a lot of medical conditions going around in this film. And they're not shy about showing, the advancements of what happens when you get older and you have these ailments. There's a scene, not going to spoil too much, where they got to do an impromptu surgery on someone. And, you see the effects of the beach happening on that person. Like, because they're aging so fast, literally a year every half hour, like, a cut is just, it's Wolverine-style healing, basically. There's also, they deal with the idea of what happens when you have a mental illness on the island, so, on the beach. So, it's definitely, doing things with the idea. Granted, some of the medical stuff, I don't know if that's what would legitimately happen if you just had if you had something happen, and no spoiler per se, but there's a scene where someone kind of gets poisoned by something, and I don't know if that's quite how that works, visually speaking. Maybe. I don't know the effects of that type of poisoning on someone. But I'll say that some of the acting is good. Some of the acting's good. I will say the strength of this movie doesn't come from the acting, at least not from the adult acting per se. Most of the adults. Some of the adults are pretty good. Is it David Thewlis? I'm trying to remember. He's a character actor. He shows up in a lot of things. I'm trying to remember some of the stuff I've seen him in. I know he's in. He played Alexander Hamilton at one point. He was the villain in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He is the villain in Zorro. He's the villain in A Knight's Tale. So that guy. He's a pretty good in the movie, especially what they have to work with. But honestly, I recognize the father, like the main father character, and I did kind of recognize the main mother character, but I don't. I'm sure they're good actors, but maybe it's the fact that Shyamalan does have trouble with character dialogue from time to time, because some of this is like happening level dialogue. They make a point of throwing so many, like literally in the first, I want to say, I don't know, 3 minutes worth of 3 minutes worth of dialogue, at least 3 references to, hey, oh, I can't wait to hear your voice when you get older. Oh, you're too young for that. Oh, all the time. Literally, the amount of things they say to reference time, like, oh God, can you be any more on the nose, Shyamalan? Come on. They do at least try, but the dialogue in this movie is not good. Yeah, for the most part, there is, like, from other characters, it kind of works. When you get the explanation, I mean, the dialogue's fine, but the explanation is just terrible. Okay, maybe not terrible. It's just a letdown. I was really hoping for something a lot more clever than what we were dealing with here, and the way that, again, without trying to give spoilers away, the way it's kind of ultimately handled in the end. See, here's the problem with this type of movie. Is, like I said, spoilers upon spoilers. There's 2 twists in the movie. One you can see coming because you don't know how that scenario ultimately ends initially. And 2, the actual reveal what's going on. The actual reveal what's going on, I'm going to be honest, again, it doesn't work for me. Maybe it will work for someone else, doesn't work for me. But the secondary reveal, I'll admit, even though we kind of know it's coming, there is a big satisfaction. Like, I actually heard some people say, like, hey, the ending was good at least. I'm like, yeah, I'll give them that. Like, that's kind of the ending you wanted to see. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, do I recommend this movie? Because they do stuff with the aging, concept. It does ultimately have an ending that I liked, though it comes off the backbone of a twist that I wasn't really fond of. Like I said, what's in the cave is kind of really just a letdown, at least in my opinion. But I'd say this is a better film. I would recommend it. If you're at least interested in the film, I would recommend it, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I will say this too. It's actually got some humor to it. It's got some legitimate laughs to it. Because there's stuff where we all the audience got, I could hear the audience laughing, and I got some laughs out of it too. There's a scene, and you see a girl gets, as the kids are aging, clearly, they're experiencing, they're maturing mentally to some degree, though they're still kids. And obviously, there's a scene where two of the kids have sex. And they try to play, because they're aging so quickly, a girl immediately comes out like 5 months pregnant. So, like, there's like, we were just playing. He's like, I'm like, oh man, yeah. But that's how you know what you did? That's how babies are made. I thought it had to happen like 10 times, something like that. No, it can only happen once. So yeah, so again, I'm not spoiling anything on that because the girl getting pregnant is clearly in the trailer, so you saw that. Yeah, I liked it enough. It's not one of the worst movies I mean, depending on how many films I see and depending how bad the rest of the films I see are, it could be one of the worst. But right now, I mean, I've seen far worse films this year than this. This is among the this is among the, I guess, the better end of the spectrum. Not the best films I've seen this year. Like Quiet Place Part 2, that's still probably my number one film. In terms of quality and how good the film was, Godzilla vs. Kong, that was just a great ride. I loved watching that movie. And there's still other films that I've seen this year. I get it. I'd have to go through all my reviews to figure out what I've seen this year so far. Anyway, though, I digress. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I'll probably try to catch Snake Eyes sometimes this weekend. Maybe tomorrow, even. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you folks next time. And What If and Who Would Win will be up later tomorrow. So have a good day.